Hey, this is Old Time Radio, and I have another video for you today. This one is about position Bezier keys. They are a type of animation key, and they act as a counterpart to the linear animation keys that we're used to using to animate pretty much everything. Um, what you can see here is a top-down view in the tool set. These boxes are meshes with emitters attached to them in order to leave these trails so you can actually get a better idea what kind of movements they're making. I'd like to draw your attention to this red diamond in which these two boxes move. One of them is red, and which is programmed with linear keys, and the other, which is blue, and that is programmed with Bezier keys. Notice that all of the boxes, no matter what they do, always meet at the same time at each of these 4 points. Okay. Also, make sure you get an eyeful of the fact that the blue box starts off slower than the red box, accelerates past it, and then slows down just before it reaches its destination. This is a function of the Bezier key. Let's take a look at it. So our red box again is the linear keys, and this animation is 6 seconds long. So our first column is always going to be the time column. This is 0 seconds. What should happen at 1.5 seconds in? What should happen at 3 seconds, and so forth till the end. These next columns are X, Y, and Z columns. And of course, they describe the position. So that 1.5 seconds in, the mesh will be at -10, -10, which is right here. This is the origin. -10, -10. At 3 seconds halfway through, it's at Y -20 only, and that's down here. And then it moves up to 10, -10 for the third point, and then moves back to its origin to complete the animation. For the Bezier key, you'll see that it has exactly the same information as the linear key in each of the columns. The only difference is it has additional columns. It has 6 additional columns. And whereas linear keys only need to describe point A to point B, Bezier keys, which are a form of parametric curve, as we can see down here, use things called control points or handles. You might have heard that called handles before, to deform an otherwise straight line into a curve mathematically. The 0, 0 to sort of map this diagram onto the model. So this is x 0, 0. This is where it's starting out. This can qualify as B0. And x -10, 1.5 seconds later, qualifies as B3. This is the destination. Okay. Currently, for Bezier keys, you don't necessarily have to have these control points in, which is why this information is zeroed out. It will still move with that specific Bezier manner. It's very easy to recognize. Now, what happens if we start adding some handles or control points to deform this from a straight line to something else? Well, if we take a look at dBxy, which is right here, we'll see that while it still makes the same traversal from x 0, 0 to x -10, so x 0, 0, x -10, in our second triplicate of XYZ coordinates, we have some data here. And this data acts as a descriptor for the control point. Now, it's 10 meters, okay? 10 meters is not how far out this curve is. 10 meters is where the control point is. As you can see, a nature of this parametric creation is that um, the curves are very soft, and you have to pull it out quite far to get a more sharp curve. This is just the nature of how Bezier curves work. Bezier curves don't have to have two control points like this. Actually, there's a total of 4 control points, to be honest. Um, uh, they can have just the start and destination. They can have the start and destination and B1, this first control point, or they can have all 3. And let me backtrack just a sec. So this circle, which is what it ultimately describes. Remember, this is the origin. It's not orbiting around anything. This is not that kind of animation. This is actually where it's starting from, and it's describing a circle through its movements. This guy comes out even further and makes a sharper curve, and it is, I believe it's dBxy 1 and dBxy 1, which is this blue guy right here, okay, makes these nice sharp curves. This has the exact same data as dBxy, except I'm yanking harder on this control handle. So it's pulling it out even further. The way I created this placeable was a little more difficult on me than it will likely be for you when you're testing with it, because I did everything with diagonal motion in mind, so that you could eventually see the way the numbers change for those control points when you're moving these objects in diagonal ways. It will be much easier for you to do non-diagonal movements and keep your control points to get the perfect shape every time, if that's what you want. Okay, so we have, just to recap so far, we've got linear, and that is sharp movements, and at a steady speed we have Bezier, which all have that sort of curve aspect, whether it's a curve and acceleration, if there is only just an X, Y, and no other control data, no other control point data, or a nice curve, a curve between the 2 points once we start having control point data in there, which of course we can make more exaggerated by yanking harder on the control points. Or if we, as dBxy3 shows, if we have data in all 3 columns, all 3 column sets rather, we have, for instance, the origin, which is B0. 1.5 seconds later, its destination is -10. That's B3 here. This second group of XYZ coordinates map to the B1 handle or control point. And the third group of XYZ coordinates map to the B2 control point or handle. So that's how we're getting such a strange and lovely curve on this guy, is because we're utilizing the Bezier curve functions to the most. And I'm sure people in the community can do even better work with this. This is a great thing to muck around with. There'll be a link to the Neverwinter Vault in the description of this video. And what'll likely be the case is it'll probably be this mod, a small hack pack, which is just going to contain the images for these textures that are applied to the boxes. And then this file, which will you'll place in your override, and it will override, of course, your armoire. And then you can edit this on the fly. There'll be a little handle that you pull here, and that'll reload the module so that you can make very quick changes and see them play out. Yeah. So I hope that that helps you explore some new places and that you have fun with it. Thanks.